Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John. Welcome to Sheepworld, welcome to our show. And welcome to the demonstration and welcome to New Zealand if you're not from New Zealand. So, can I just ask quickly, who's not from New Zealand? Right, okay, where are you guys from?
United States.
United States. Okay. Yep. Same? Where are you guys? Switzerland. China. Okay. US as well.
US.
US too.
Different part, but yeah.
Okay, different part. You guys know each other?
Everyone in the US knows each other.
Yeah, it's a small little town.
Fantastic. What I want to do first is just introduce you to my dogs and tell you a little bit about them, tell you a bit about their breeding and about the jobs that they do, because these are the two main breeds of dog that we use for mustering sheep in New Zealand. And they work together and they work separately and they have different jobs and they have different ways of moving sheep. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go out there and we're going to get some sheep in and we'll show you how they work. We're going to bring the sheep into here, and once we've got them here, we're going to do a job we call drafting. We're going to separate the sheep, sort the sheep out. Once we've separated the sheep, we get one out for a haircut, which is called shearing. I'll shear the first half and you guys can shear the second half if you want to. That goes for the kids as well. If they want to have a go at shearing, then we can organise that. This one here on the knee there, probably only give it another week, should be right. And then once we've done the shearing, we've got a lamb out there. Now apologies, we're still waiting for lambs. You can't hurry Mother Nature up. We should have lambs in a couple of weeks, but we were expecting to have lambs by now, but the girls are holding back, you know what I mean? And we've got one lamb and one calf that we can bottle feed, so you don't get to miss out. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask questions. We like questions, it's all good. So, the black and white dog, his name is Boy. Right here, his name is Sam. Now, Sam, he's a New Zealand breed of dog, this guy, and he's called a hunter-away. Now, we call him a hunter-away because he's going to hunt sheep and cattle away for you. That's why they're called a hunter-away. And they work with noise. They're bred for noise. They're bred to bark at sheep and cattle and make them move. So you go. So he's got quite a big bark. And he's trained to stand with his head facing away and to bark at the sheep to make them move. Now, Sam on his own, just one hunter-away will move 1,000 sheep, no problem at all. But he's not going to really care where your 1,000 sheep are going to go. He's going to get them going, but he's going to try and keep them in a group for you. Alright? He's got the brain of a border collie, he's got the temperament of a Labrador, and he's got the bark of an English English foxhound. And if I go listen to something bark all day, then I want to hear a wolf. I don't want to have to listen to yappity yap like this guy has. Now, originally they were bred because our farms were covered in bush. Farms were covered in bush, dense bush, like up on the hill here, and the sheep would go in there, and the dogs that the settlers originally brought out here were these guys, basically border collies. Now, he doesn't make a sound when he works, he needs to be able to see what he's mustering. So he would have had difficulty getting sheep out of bush. Sam doesn't need to see anybody. We put 2 or 3 hunter-aways on him, right, and make him bark. Sam, sit. Right, and the sheep will come out of the bush. He'll get sheep into the shearing sheds, according to me, so that we can shear them. Boy, get up. Right. So, and he'll put sheep on the truck so that we can transport them. He's trained to back sheep. Now that means he'll jump up onto the backs of the sheep and run over their heads to get to the front. So if you've got 300 or 400 sheep, no, what do you mean? If you've got 300 or 400 sheep going into a shearing shed and the front ones decide to stop, you're at the back with the dogs trying to make them go in. If the front ones stop, don't want to go in, it's impossible for you to get to the front. For that guy there, he flies over the top of them, gets to the front, shakes out the ones that are giving me the trouble, and I can bring them back to me barking. So that just makes everybody go through because they want to get away from Sam. Okay, so that's basically a huntaway. Sam is 80 years old, okay, 80 years old in dog years, so that makes him 12, he'll be 13 next year. Don't be fooled by his age. I had a dog in here earlier, you guys would have seen the little guy, that's his pup, right? He had 13, he fathered 13 of those 5 months ago, okay? 12 last year, 13 this year. Okay, this guy, now we call this guy a heading dog, boy to me. He's pretty keen to get to work, boy to me. Right? He hasn't worked in a few days, so he's all wound up. Boy, sit. Sam, be quiet. Now we call him a heading dog or an eye dog. We call him an eye dog because he doesn't bark when he works. He will never ever make a sound when he works. He goes around the paddocks, finds the sheep. Once he's found them, he locks onto them, starts to stare at them, and he makes them move by looking at them. Once they move, he goes around them, gets them into a group, and then he brings them to me and he puts them on my feet. Well, he does his very best to try and do that anyway. Okay? He's a border collie. He's about 5 years old. He's been working since he was a 10-week-old pup. He's a little guy. Start him out at 10 weeks of age so we can see if they've got the instincts that we're looking for. Now, if you stare at him, he will stare back. But like I say, he's getting into work mode. So.
Yeah.
Now the dogs are going to run this way really, really quickly, so don't get a fright, especially you guys there, okay? They're not coming to see you, they're just going that way. As soon as I say the magic word. Guys, please come on out and go and give them a run.
Literally jumped over the fence. That was amazing. He must have jumped the fence too. Oh, gotta go.
Okay, so we've got those sheep here on the hill that we're going to pull in with boys. What I just want to make you guys clear on is that we train dogs to do our show, we train these working dogs. And when you're fully trained, we can sell the dogs on if we choose to and start again. We don't spend any of our time training the sheep to do what we do. We've got a farmer who lives in Torah, his sheep, and he supplies the sheep 364 days a year. And we use them, they come in here in mobs of about 30 at a time, and we use them for about 4 to 5 days in the show. And when they arrive here, they're all woolly. They've got wool on, and our deal is we share them for nothing to the farmer. We get to use them, we do a couple of other jobs on them while they're here, and then they go back to the farm. I get more sheep in. Okay, so that's how it works. These guys here, they'll be going back to the farm probably about Monday. So they've been in the show for about 2 days. Well, this is why you call him an eye dog. Once he's locked onto me, he'll just keep looking at me. Normally I stop him there. So I'm just going to let him go because, like I say, he hasn't worked in a few days and he'll be really, really keen to get out there and get these sheep. Now what he's doing at the moment, he'll be going out there and just stalking. But also I've got another mob of sheep on this side of the fence, so sometimes he gets the idea that he should actually get them all together. But he's like, yeah, you can see him just there. Now some of the sheep up by the lamppost have seen him and they've sensed him coming.
Oh yeah, they're moving now. That's really smart.
To be perfectly honest with you, this dog would never ever win any sort of dog trialing competition. He's just cost me points right there in the end because he comes in underneath, which is called crossing the head. Now he does that, I've kind of worked out why he does it. He works it, it's like a reassurance thing he does to make sure he's got everybody. And you know, notice I'm not really telling him what to do. I just send him out and I'll try and let this guy work alone. So some of the sheep are split up on him, and what he's trying to do is head them down so that they see where the gateway is. Ready, boy. Damn, be quiet.
Oops.
Now this will be tricky for him because he's got to get those sheep out of the corner. Hey! No! 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 Boy! Boy! No! So what I might have to do is just change my position. I'll show you why in a second. Bam! Boy! Come here!
So he had to change where he was, so he would hurt him to the right gate. Now he's got to get the rest that had straggled off. What? They're just coming. See who got haircuts and who didn't. Yeah. He keeps putting them in that corner, which is kind of weird. Going back out. Billy got back in the field.
Not doing very well today, is he?
But we all have our off days. He's like, oh no, no. And back in the corner we go. Jason, not up the hill. Oops.
We'll just go to the toilet quickly.
I just showed all those vlogs.
Come on, we need to be quick. They're all in the corner. You watching TV? Look. Disgusting. Oh, I think he's going to get them there. Are they even going to get it? Coming down.
It wouldn't hurt you anyway. Run away.
Is the dog scared of sheep? The man is not.
Why I had to change my position is he balances off wherever I stand. He's literally trying to pull me, the sheep, through that fence line, the shortest distance to me. Yeah, that's why I walked up to the gate, because then I can get him to flick that little bit to the right-hand side, and he'll balance up the sheep again. So remember, all he wants to do, boy, sit, sit down, get me the sheep away. So wherever I stand, that's where the sheep are lined up. If I want them over here, I'll walk over there. He goes down over there. If I walk back over here, he's already up there. If I run over here, he goes there. If I go over here, he's already over there. If I go there, and he tries to keep them all together, balancing off me because he wants to bring them to me. Now he's got a set of commands that make him go left and right. If I say to him, boy, behind, he'll come around behind me, boy behind, boy behind, boy behind. Tahi, he goes that way. Boy behind, Rua, he goes that way. So to send him that way, off the whistle, he goes that way. He goes that way. That's how he works. Boy, sit down. Sit. What do you mean? So do you see how he works? Yeah, he works in a circle, or we work in a circle together. The sheep are in the middle. He works at 12 o'clock, I work at 6 o'clock. And if I go at 3 o'clock, he goes to 9 o'clock and balances off me, which is why I had to go over there to 3 o'clock to balance him. Do you have any questions? Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, questions on him. Probably, he might be a little bit underweight. Yeah, possibly. But I mean, you run up and down those hills 3 or 4 times a day. It doesn't take long for the weight to come off. And it's only a matter of just feeding him a little bit more, and it only takes a couple of days. to correct it. And I've actually got a whole lot of bones on the back of the truck, big meaty ones, that I'll be dishing out to the dogs a bit later on. But actually, you notice he's got short hair. Normally border collies are long haired. Now I got told many years ago that to get that long hair onto them and to give them, get the short hair on them I should say, and to get extra speed into them on the hills, they put a little bit of greyhound into them. Okay? So
Or whip
you have a
it,
look at
maybe.
it now and you go, yeah, greyhound will whip it in there. Something like that. So he's going around the back for a drink. But what I should show you is he did all that noise, all that work and never made a sound. He will never bark. Never ever makes a sound, yeah? So he does actually bark. Right. Okay, well.
Or Sam. Oh, I love it.
He's really dark, isn't he?
Excuse me, I've
They're trying for the fence.
Even when I was introducing Sam inside, I said to you he's capable of moving 1,000 sheep. We've only got a handful of sheep here and I want to put a rope on him because the last thing I want is for anybody to get hurt. And these guys can run really quickly over a short distance once they get a hunt way in, moving them around. Now over a short distance they'll do 20 k's an hour and their heads are 3 times thicker than ours. And if they take you out of the kneecap, which happened to me a few weeks back, it really hurts. They can jump to the height of that, so that means that you're in danger of severe concussion as well, which means that they can jump out of here if we don't keep this guy under control. So, how the Hunterway works. You saw how Boy worked at 12 o'clock, I'm at 6 o'clock, yeah? And the sheep are in the middle. Sam's in the middle, he's hunting them away, the sheep are at 12 o'clock. So to make that happen, we start them off stand and stand just means stand and bark. You see the sheep already starting to ears up, safe. Then we take this rope, quiet, and we turn it into a braking system. It goes in around here like that. Hooks on there. Out through there. And he's not going to pull on that rope, is he?
No.
If he does, I'll pull back on it, and that'll stop him.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's called a flank rope. Quiet, Dan. The reason I don't clip it on here, or you wouldn't want to do it on a Hunterway, is because a young dog like Grizz, the pup, he's going to run at these guys, and I've got to stop him. I've got to teach him what stop means, and that's going to give him a sore neck, and very soon he'll flick around and he'll think I want him to turn around and bark at me, which is exactly what I don't want. Bring it up. Bring it up. So that's basically how he works. All noise, lots of movement. He'll make physical contact with the sheep as well. Sam, come here. Hurry up. Now we can teach him to work hundreds of metres away off that rope, and all you've got to do is put a loop in the end of your rope. And you guys need an imagination now. You imagine you've got a loop in the end of that rope. Nice big open paddock in front of you, like the one across the road. And this is a fishing rod. You put that onto there. 500 metres of nylon. You change all your commands for that. do, mate. So that's how you can get distance.
And away he goes.
Hey, get in here. Okay, what I've got to do is get those sheep into the shed. So while I'm doing that, you guys can either watch or you can head back in.
That's a truck.
Okay, anyone got any questions you want to answer? Okay, all I can add to what you just saw about the dogs is that I can't do my job without them. I literally can't. And I can guarantee you, there's not one person in this barn, including myself, who could go up onto that hill and get those sheep together and get them down through the gates and into here without a dog. You saw what they did to Boyd, they just split up on him. Okay? He's got to be able to run at quite a considerable rate. Yeah? They got 4 legs, we've only got 2. We can't run past them. They don't want to come in here. Even from there into the barn, I wouldn't be able to get them in here without a dog. They don't want to come in because it's dark. If you're shearing, it'll be noisy. That freaks the sheep. Our country, over 150 years, was built on the back of these guys, meat and wool. Now, it couldn't have been done without these guys. They are, quite honestly, the backbone of a good working farm. And even today, the wool on the back of these sheep is worth $700 million to our economy. It can't be harvested without this guy, or these guys, yeah? The lamb, I can't even tell you how much lamb is worth to our economy. And quite honestly, the world can't get enough from New Zealand lamb. Again, it can't be harvested without the dogs. So they're a huge part of our economy. Probably most Kiwis don't realise. That's all right. He's the best workmate you're ever going to have. He doesn't ring in sick. Doesn't ask for pay rises, doesn't belong to unions. He's always happy to see me. And he always wants to help me. Doesn't talk behind my back. So yeah, perfect workmate. Right. Yes, sir.
Does a typical farmer need to have both breeds of dogs?
Yeah, most of them will have a makeup of both breeds, yeah. You might only have 1 or 2 heading dogs, but you might have 3 or 4 Huntways, and 1 or 2 of your Huntways might be specially trained to do the yard work. It's a little bit specialised, that job. And your mustering Huntways, they'll be just out working with the eye dogs and the paddocks, making things move. Yeah. Any other questions?
How much does... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
How much does a Holloway pup sell for?
Oh, I was getting about $300 a pup. 250 to 300. Once they got a bit of training, the price goes up quite dramatically. Yeah. Yeah. An eye dog like Boyd, if you wanted to buy him, or I had to replace him through death or injury, I'm looking at about $3,000 to replace him. Yes, you have a question? Okay. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to get all our sheep and we're going to bring them through this race down to these gates. Now, the sheep have got some colours on their heads. We're only looking at the heads, and I might actually freshen them up before we do this job so that there's no mistaking who's got who. Okay, now, any sheep with a pink mark, I want it to go into that pen. Any sheep with a blue mark is going to come into there. And any sheep that doesn't have a mark, we call it a blonde. Okay, no offense to any blondes here today, but we call it a blonde, because obviously going straight ahead is nice and easy for the blondes. We go blue, blonde, blue, pink, blonde, blonde, blue, blonde, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blonde, blonde, blue, blonde, pink. You get the idea? Right. Now,
How's the dog when you have those doors?
normally I ask for a volunteer. Okay, but every time I do ask for volunteers, or a volunteer, usually everybody looks at the floor or points at someone. So, you're pointing at someone, I always pick the one that's going to point at someone. Right? Come on down here, you. Right behind you. There you go.
Get up on. Grab it again.
G'day there, what's your name? Ruth. Pleased to meet you, Ruth. You know what you're doing, don't you? Come on through here. Put your left foot on there. Please, Ruth. Put your right foot behind the post. Now, Ruth, pick someone out of the audience to come and help you.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Excellent. There you go, bud. What's your name? Luke. Luke? Luke, yeah. Pleased to meet you, Luke. Okay, you stay right there, bud. Yeah, all good. So you're from America?
Yes.
Yeah, whereabouts in the States?
Maryland?
Maryland. Okay, so you've never done anything like this before, I imagine.
Regrettably, I have.
You have?
Grew up in Arkansas.
Okay, alright, so you might be quite good at this. What do you normally do for
Oh, I
work?
wouldn't say that.
What do you normally do?
I'm a therapist.
Therapist? Yeah. As you can see, this is exactly the same look. Right, okay, left hand on that guy, please. Ruth? Sorry, right hand. Big fuck, I'm having a bad day today. Left hand there. No, shouldn't do. Can't guarantee it though. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have two practices. I'll pull the colours, you're going to work the gates for me. Okay? So Lou, when I say pink, when I say blue, okay. When I say blonde, I go there. Okay? He's keen, very keen, that's what we like. Okay. So we practice first. Blue, pink, blonde, blue, blonde, blue, blonde, pink, 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 blonde, pink, blonde, pink, blonde, blue, blue, pink, blue, pink, blonde, blue. Fantastic, give me a hand. Going well. You're going really well. Now we're going to sharpen you up a little bit. What I want you to remember, Lou, is you're looking after two colours. You're looking after pink and blonde. Ruth, you're looking after blue and blonde. Okay, so remember that. I'm going to wander in there, and I'm going to just freshen up the colours, and I'm going to just pull the colours out randomly. I just want you guys to have a bit of a practice of another one. Okay? Right there. Blue. And they're not going to stop and wait for you to get the gate right. They're going to see a gap and they're going to try and push their way in. So you need to know how to stop the sheep. Okay, there are two things I don't want you to do to stop them. Number one, don't step in front of the roof. Okay, you'll wind up with a really sore knee or flat on your back. Alright? Number two, don't try and grab hold of anybody and hold them back. That's not going to work either. They're a lot stronger than you realise. Alright, and they'll keep going. If you need to stop them, just open that gate, Luke. Hold that there. If you've got one going there, or there, and it's the wrong colour, you wait until the head of the sheep is right where my boot is. And when the head of the sheep is right where my boot was, shut that gate. Jam that head. What? Huh? Jam the head gently. Okay, gently. Exactly, yeah. They're going to look like this. Here's the head, here's the gate. You shut that gate, you've got to be quick. But you don't have to be like smash them. Alright? Just put a little bit of pressure on them. If they can't go forwards, they'll go backwards, and then you can try and get them into the right pen. Forward. Last thing we need to know is about Sam. Sam the dog. He's going straight ahead. Keep the gate set exactly like that, because Sam just like you lose as a blonde. You're out. Hello, girls. So you missed one. That's pretty good. That's not bad because they're coming through pretty quick. That's all good because I actually forgot a vital piece of information I was supposed to tell you right at the start. I've been on holiday recently. I was supposed to tell you I don't care if you get it right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Did you have fun? Excellent. Thank you very much. Come on out. Okay, so there, we call grafting. And that is a real job on a sheep farm. That's how a farmer sorts out sheep. Just a dog and a farmer normally. Now we've only got probably about 15 to 18 sheep there. And they'll through here in a few seconds. Yes, sir.
Sorting them for what?
We could be sorting them out for all sorts of reasons, to be honest with you, but this system allows us to sort out 700 sheep per hour. Okay? That's how fast you're going to start coming through here. I'll tell you a little bit more about the sorting. That's fast. If you get any wrong, Ruth, Lou, you've got to go find them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we put them in the right pen. Yeah. Now, we could be sorting them out for shearing. Okay, because we'll sort males from females out for shearers. We could be sorting them out for age. Alright? A particular age of sheep we might be getting good money for at the sales. So we need to be able to sort them out quickly so that we can make the money while the money is good. All sorts of reasons. We could be sorting out next door neighbour's sheep that are mixed up with our sheep. Or, yeah, all sorts of reasons. Okay, now normally we won't be looking at pretty colours on the heads. What we're going to be looking at are the ears. Now you have a close look at the ears on the sheep. Now they've either got notches that are actually cut out of the ear, or they have got tags, plastic tags in there. Now those tell me three things about the sheep. Number one, who owns it. If it's a notch that's been cut out, the shape of the notch is a registered mark to the farmer who owns the sheep. The tags, they have got the farmer's initials and his farm number impregnated on the tag. Alright, so if sheep get out on the road and cause some trouble, we can find out who they belong to. The only way I can tell how old any of these sheep are right now, without those marks, is to walk in there and catch everyone and check their teeth. That's the only way I can do that. Now I've only got 15 or 20 sheep there. I could have 20,000 sheep. I don't want to have to do that. So the place where the ear is marked tells me the year the sheep was born. Okay? And lastly, look at all the sheep. Now you tell me who's a boy and who's a girl.
The blue
One's got
marker.
pink and one's got blue.
Don't tell me the pink one's girls. Yeah, no. Now without those marks, okay, if the sheep is shorn, I can't see on that one. But if it's got a long tail stub, I won't be able to see. And if it's got a tail, I won't be able to see anyway. Okay? If it's facing me, I won't be able to see. If it's fully walled up, I won't be able to see. So we mark the girls on the left here, boys are marked on the right here. So that's how that system works. Yeah? Because you've got to be able to sort them out. Yeah. So we put the marks on their ears when they're little lambs. We do a job on the lambs at about 6 to 8 weeks of age called docking. Now docking is the removal of the tails and the testicles on the boys. So testicles come off to prevent interbreeding, and tails are going to come off because they're going to grow that long on sheep. Now, the problem with the tail is just like the rest of the body, it grows wool. The problem is that everything that comes out the back end of the sheep collects on the tail and makes it filthy and dirty and smelly. Everything that is on that tail is going to solidify and go really hard. okay, and form what we call dags. Now, the only way that you can get those dags off is when you shear the sheep. The shearer's got to cut them off with the handpiece. They're not going to be happy. And quite frankly, if they drive into your farm and see a whole lot of dagged up tails, they're just as likely to put all the gears into reverse and drive away and just leave you with the problem of cleaning them up. It's going to cost them time, money and gear, and as you're about to find out, this job of shearing sheep, it's not fair on them. It's a hard enough job without having to deal with tails. The next thing that's going to happen to your sheep, October. Once October turns up, we get blowflies coming in. Blowflies are attracted to a sheep with a tail because of the muck and moisture. They'll burrow down through the wool, onto the skin, lay eggs down there, and those eggs hatch. Then they turn into maggots, and then they're going to eat your sheep alive, and they'll do that in less than 10 days, which is called fly strike. It's pretty ugly. Any Aussies here today? No, that's really good. Because we have Aussie flies here too now. Aussie flies drop live maggots, which means that they can fly over your sheep and actually drop the maggots from the air. They don't even have to land on your sheep. So yeah, that's the problem. And you've got 3 to 5 days with an Australian blowfly. So it's pretty ugly. So we put the marks on their ears when they're little lambs. We do a job on the lambs about 6 to 8 weeks of age called docking. Okay, as I mentioned. Now it's very simple. We run the sheep, the lambs, and their mums through the system. And we draft off all the lambs. Once we've separated them, we'll set up a cradle, shaped like that. It's about yay long, and it's got rollers on it. Now, 4 to 5 people will be madly doing this if you've got thousands of lambs to dock. A professional docking crew can dock 6,000 lambs in a day. And they're picking up lambs, 2 people will be picking up lambs, tipping them upside down, laying them on the cradle, and they'll roll down towards the person with the ear taggers. They tag them in the appropriate place. If someone's got a vaccination gun, they give them the vaccine. Then they've got a special tool. On here, they put a tiny little rubber ring on that. Really, really strong little rubber ring, and they squeeze the handle. That opens it up. Goes over what we don't want. We release that, leave the ring on. Everything falls off 3 to 4 weeks later. It's had no blood going to it. So it's clean and really hygienic, and we don't need to cut anything if we don't want to. Okay? So that's how that's done. Any questions? Right, we've got a special prize for Ruth. Doing the docking. Doing the drafting.
Okay, do I get to do some docking?
Oh.
There you go, then. Those are sheep balls. Here, Luke, throw them back, mate.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're left with. Just a little pouch like that. Any questions?
Docking.
Okay, we're going to tell you a bit about this job. Shearing sheep. Okay, I spend a little bit of time giving you information on this because it's really important to us that you go away realising what goes into doing this job. This is called a handpiece. Every professional shearer has a pair of these, 2 of them. You're going to have an assortment of these, which are called combs. And on top of the combs are cutters. Now, you're going to need about 15 combs to get you through a day's shearing, and they are worth $40 each. A cutter, that's going to set you back $7, and you're going to need 70 of them for a day's shearing. The whole handpiece itself, 70. Yep. The whole handpiece itself, brand new, $800, and you need 2 of them. Right, so that's your first off mechanical outlay. Now those are all able to be removed and sharpened up. They're sharpened every night after shearing sheep. Right, they are razor sharp, and they have to be razor sharp to cut raw wool. The comb sits on the skin, goes through the wool. Everything that comes up through there obviously gets cut by that. Now, sometimes we cut sheep when we're shearing. We try not to, but it does happen. Sometimes we cut ourselves. Cuts on the sheep, they're going to heal up really quickly. Now, if I cut one this morning, by the time I go back home this afternoon, or this evening, early this evening, those cuts will be scabbed over. And it's all because of the stuff naturally in the skin of the sheep. Now there, raw lanolin oil. Now that lanolin oil in the skin waterproofs every animal that goes outside after it's been shorn. If it rains, there's no problem. In fact, the sheep is better off without that wool on because it doesn't take long for them to dry. They just flick the backs and the water's gone. Okay? So it's waterproof. It's also an antiseptic. Now, the problem for a shearer is actually lanolin oil. Because when you are doing this job, you are sweating like you have never ever sweated in your life.